Guys, today we're going to talk racism and xenophobia.
Well, guys, today's playlist, God Bless America, Proud to be an American, FJB. But look at this shirt. Like, just keep selling shit, dude.
Apparently, imposing a travel ban on Africa, where apparently...
Okay, guys, I've got these notes written on a piece of paper under my phone, okay, guys? And posing a travel ban based on a disease is somehow not racist against the disease, whereas opposing a travel ban on countries because they're majority Muslim and have lots of black people in them as your sole and only reason for arguing that they should be, because there's terrorism literally in every state in the Middle East, but you wouldn't possibly do that to say, Saudi Arabia, which is getting bombed fairly regularly right now, but you wouldn't do that because those people build hotels, guys.
A new strain of the virus and it's getting pretty bad. That is no longer racist and xenophobic. Now, I remember a year ago when it was.
Do you remember a year? This is the same shit Hannity went through. I don't even know why we need to go through this other than...
I remember when Donald Trump imposed an Africa ban because of what was going on with the virus and because of what common sense was...
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no, fuckhead. Nah. No. That wasn't that was not why these people were added to the travel ban. It was just because they were Muslim and brown. That was 100% why. Terrorism, remember? You were trying to save us from terrorism. That's what his dad was trying to do.
Telling us, and based on what the science was apparently telling us,
that was a drive-by air quotes on the word science.
Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden and others going nuts. The media went crazy. It was racist. It was xenophobic. Most people had never even heard of that word until they came up with an excuse.
Oh, right. Xenophobic. His dad didn't know what the word xenophobic meant, and so they've got to act like other people don't understand the word xenophobic, as if no one knows what a xenomorph is and can't kind of picture where something that different might be shocking and instill fear in you. If things are so different, you feel out of place or off-put by it, and therefore xenophobia. Like, they have to pretend that's a strange word that no one's ever heard of before, because it couldn't be that his dad is fucking dumb.
To weaponize it. So this was Nancy Pelosi. The Trump administration's expansion of its un-American travel ban is a threat to our security, our values, and the rule of law. Barring more than 350 million people from predominantly African countries from traveling to the U.S., this rule is discrimination disguised as policy. Well,
Yeah, because it wasn't about COVID.
This weekend, Joe Biden implemented a similar rule. The U.S. will restrict travel from South Africa and 7 other countries
for a week. Not as a policy. For a week.
In response to the newly identified Omicron variant of the coronavirus.
Yeah, that was Trump's problem, is that he the only in response to part was brown people, Muslim shithole country, right? That was the reason.
Where is everyone? Where is CNN? Right? Where is CNN?
Look at him checking his fucking notes on this. Where is the? It's White Monkey Presents the Peach.
CNN.
Look at him, stoned to the fucking bejesus belt. And then he's scrolling. He looks down at his thing to scroll to where he was to his talking point. Again, a 4-minute video, and this motherfucker has to review his notes like on the sly. Here's a good idea. Write it on a piece of paper and put it right fucking here. Your eyes are so squinty and bloodshot and from whatever like substance you're snorting or smoking that we can't tell where the fuck you're looking anyways.
Hey, where is CNN? Remember, Biden is not a racist from blocking people from African countries from coming in with a travel ban, but Trump was. Now, guys, guess what? Both policies, even Joe Biden, amazingly enough, they make sense if that's what's
Guys, totally, they make sense. Like, you have to understand, the guys, they've totally, both are good. Anytime you're blocking people coming from Africa, look, I'm for it.
On. The travel ban made sense then, and it probably makes sense now. The difference is whoever
Is why. The difference is why. He was putting it forward as full policy during the length of his presidency. That would be the denial of travel from those countries. This is on a week-to-week basis as they look at a new variant outbreak, and it'll probably be fine in a week.
comes up with the policy. That's how they're treated is what's different, right? So in today's lesson of learning to be a liberal, Trump's ban
Oh shit, you're reading from Rando?
on travel from China, okay, that was xenophobic. Trump's other travel bans from places that were
Whoa, hang out, man. So in today's lesson, learn to be a liberal, Trump's ban on travel from China in January 2020 to prevent the spread of COVID-19, which, by the way, was a sieve. You could still fly here. You just couldn't be poor, essentially. All the rich people who bought, that were working with the Chinese delegation or the business people over there that bought all that beef, for example, were allowed to go to our meat packing plants via private jet. They could come all they wanted to. They weren't kept out. They were rich. They're on a different scale. And therefore, it was more. That's why the xenophobic phrase instead of the a racist phrase about it, because essentially he was like, oh, rich people like me, poor people not like me, and that would be the xenophobic part of it. But they were able to come over here. Now, I don't know if we had any outbreaks at meat packing plants because of that. You'd have to go back and look.
xenophobic. Trump's other travel bans from places that were hot spots were racist. Biden's travel ban, too, from South Africa and 7 other African nations in November of 2021 to prevent the spread of COVID-19. That's a necessity. It's no
For a week. Not as a policy. For a week. And I love how you grabbed that guy's tweet about the travel ban on China. And again, we're talking about Africa to Africa. I noticed you didn't bring one up or find a tweet. And I'm sure there's a right-winger out there that loves Trump that made this comparison. How come Trump's February 1st, 2020 Africa ban is racist and Biden's isn't? Because apples to apples, it fucking well is.
racist. It's a necessity. Okay? That's the insanity that we live. Okay? Joe Biden's Africa.
Yes, it is. Guys, it's the insanity that we live. I know you're waiting for the word in. It's not coming.
Travel ban sounds totally reasonable. Trump's was racist. Joe Biden's children occupied in overflow border detention facilities overrun with COVID-19 sounds
Facilities, it's overrun with COVID-19. And the reason it's overrun is, of course, the people that come in who already have it and who test positive and are separated from the people who don't. But that's overrun. Not in, I don't give a fuck. Why are we testing those folks? Gee, all these people are testing positive in these places. That's because we're testing now. Shh.
reasonable. Trump had kids in cages at much lower levels. Okay? This is what.
Well, in Biden's defense, and I obviously accused of always rushing to his defense, he hasn't lost any.
Get from your mainstream corporate media. Okay? Everything they do, they can weaponize. Okay?
Everything. Okay, look, I've got these notes given to me, and they're right here. And guys, I know I talk to you guys for almost 4 hours some days, but can you imagine if, guys, I did most of it looking down. Where did he go? The Greg Kelly School of Broadcasting?
Remember Joe Biden said? Trump further diminished the U.S. in the eyes of the world by expanding his travel ban. This new Africa ban is designed to make.
By the way, do you think he just copies his shit from Sean Hannity or the other way around?
Harder for black and brown people to immigrate to the United States. It is a disgrace, and we cannot let him succeed. Now, someone wrote that for Joe Biden back in February.
No. They discussed it and they phrased it and he put it together like he does with a lot of his speeches. He either says it himself and they tighten the language for a tweet or what have you, but he's a grown person. He doesn't go, awful, disgrace, sad.
1st of 2020. Strange. I'm not seeing CNN talking about that. I'm not seeing.
Well, that's there's a lot of things you not see, and one of them is the fact that in February of 2020, when we were heading into a recession, one of the ways that Trump was covering his ass was by being mean to brown people performatively for his voters in the beginning of an election year. This was part of that. It had nothing to do with COVID.
One talking about it. So again, remember, guys, xenophobia is not xenophobia. Xenophobia to CNN depends on who the ruling regime is and how they.
Regime. This is the whole Steve Bannon thing again. And by the way, no, it would be the reasoning why. See, it's like self-defense versus murder. Is that terms I can put it in for you that you might understand, dipshit?
Weaponize it, okay? That's as simple as it comes, okay? That's exactly.
No. If it was as simple as it comes, you might understand it. You don't.
What's going on? So keep watching. Don't let it happen. Allow common sense.
Keep watching. Don't let it happen. Let what happen? A temporary 1-week moratorium on travel from an area where they have a new variant of major concern in South Africa that they will look at again in a week and see if it's necessary. Don't let that happen. Better to allow a permanent ban on immigration and visiting from 7 different countries, just added magically to the fucking ban. Doesn't matter if you're a Coptic Christian, if you're a Yazidi, if you've managed to sneak out, if you're, a woman who's, escaped from being a sex slave of ISIS or Boko Haram or any of that stuff. No. Stiff arm from the United States under Trump. Here, you'll be tested for, in this administration, like, we should probably test her and see if she has, any variants or if she has COVID. And if so, we'll allow her to, wait in quarantine and then she can come. Trump just flat no.
Prevail for a change and stop watching your corporate media. Otherwise, we got to play by the same rules, in which case Joe Biden is racist. Okay? Joe Biden is racist. The Democrats are supporting a racist travel ban. Mainstream media.
A racist, you could be racist if you're only racist for 7 days. It's kind of like when you're leaving a store and you're holding the door open for someone and and then another person walks by and then a third person and you don't know anybody. And so you hold it for another fourth so you don't seem like, oh, I don't care about these people. They're a dick. And the person, you let it go and the person who's coming through the door is a different color than you are. And suddenly you would be a racist because that's when you chose no longer to hold the door. And then you went, oh shit. And you opened the door for them, 7 days later, I guess, when they were the next week when you saw them. You're like, oh, I didn't want to be rude here. I'm sorry. I missed you last week. I was holding it for everybody. My arm got tired. No problem. See you later. Okay, good. You know what I mean? But,
is not outraged. They're supposed to be outraged at this kind of racist.
Outraged. Outraged. Is that when outraged? There's a T in there somewhere.
And xenophobia. We see outrage from them about everything else, even when they're wrong and it doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't we see it now? So remind Nancy Pelosi of that. You can't have it both ways, folks.
Yes, send her a letter. Everyone who watched this.
And that's why we have to call it out together, okay? Hopefully you guys had an awesome Thanksgiving weekend.
And by the way, call it out together is some sort of communist collectivist bullshit. I don't get it.
Don't forget to check out my store. Check out shopdonjr.com. We got some.
Let me guess. That shirt is for sale on it.
Great Cyber Monday deals going on and some stuff for the weekend. You can get it for the conservative in your life or you can get it for the crazy liberal in your life. I can assure you both the reactions will be awesome. Have a good one, guys. Well, guys, today...
Buy, please. I need Coke money. Dear God. When I started this show, I was completely on screen, and now I've been relegated to a smaller and smaller slice of the screen. Even Joe Biden is even beating me at the content of my own site.
It looks like our travel ban's not racist anymore. It looks like Biden's actually thinking about it. No, that's a good question. It's like he's being considerate or praying about it. Like, that's our travel. He's being considerate about the entire. Meanwhile,
Guys,